Have you ever been at a massive concert? I mean, a huge one? I just looked around and thought, how on earth does this all work? All the lights, the sound, the video. How does it all come together so perfectly? Well, today we are going behind the curtain. We've actually got a real-world production list, and we're going to break down the anatomy of a live spectacle, piece by piece. All right, let's start with our guiding principle, a phrase that comes directly from our source material. Become the stage general. This is so much more than just knowing what a cable does. It's about commanding an entire army of technology, of people, to create one single flawless experience. That's the goal. That's what we're aiming for. You know, every show, it doesn't matter how big it gets, it always starts with the sound that the artists themselves are creating right there on stage. It really is the heartbeat of the whole thing. So let's build our band and see what it takes to make that core sound. We're going to start with just sheer power. Not one, not two, but 3 electric guitars. And this isn't just about being loud. It's about creating these incredible layers of sound. You've got rhythm, you've got lead, you've got texture, all of it weaving together. That's how you build that massive wall of sound foundation for a rock show. Okay, next up, we've got to add the anchor, the bass guitar. It's that essential low end that you literally feel in your chest. It's the glue that holds the melody and the rhythm together. Without it, everything just falls apart. But listen, it's not all about power. You need dynamics, right? That's where the acoustic guitar comes in. It provides a totally different color, a different texture. It's perfect for those more intimate moments or for cutting right through the mix with a bright percussive strum. And of course, you need the driving force, the percussion section. And we are talking about a full professional setup here. The good stuff, gear from top brands like Meinl for cymbals and DW for all the hardware. This is the absolute engine room of the band. Now, check out how this whole thing builds out, because the core band, that's just the beginning. From there, you start layering on 2 to 4 keyboards. We're talking Nord, Roland, all the big names. And then you expand even further, bringing in horns, a full string section, maybe even a choir. This is how you go from sounding like a band to creating this epic cinematic event that can fill an entire stadium. So, we have all this incredible sound being made on stage, but how does it get from the instruments to you, way out in the audience? And maybe just as important, how do the performers hear themselves in the middle of all that noise? Let's trace the journey of that sound. It might seem like magic, but really it's a pretty clear 4-step process. First, you have the source. An instrument or a voice creates the actual sound. Second, it's captured by a microphone, which turns that sound into an electrical signal. Third, that signal goes to a mixing board where it's controlled and processed. And finally, the output. That perfected sound is sent out to the main speakers and to the musician's personal monitors. And this is so important. Capturing sound is not a one-size-fits-all deal. You've got to have the right tool for the right job. Think of it like this. The Shure SM58, that's an industry legend. It's like a hammer. It's indestructible. You can use it on anything. But for the lead vocal, you might want something more like the Telefunken M80. That's a high-fidelity paintbrush, designed to capture every tiny, subtle detail. Have you ever wondered how musicians can possibly hear themselves with thousands of people screaming? Well, this is how. In-ear monitors, or IMs. These are custom-molded earpieces usually fed by a top-tier wireless system like the Shure PSM1000. Each and every performer gets their own personal mix, crystal clear, pumped right into their ears. It's an absolute game changer for live performance. Okay, so we've got the sound totally covered. Now let's move on to the show's central nervous system. I'm talking about the immense computing power that runs everything from the backing tracks to those giant video screens. This is the show's digital brain. And when I say immense, I really mean it. We're not talking about some guy with a laptop here. This production list calls for over 6 dedicated computers. Now, why so many? It's all about redundancy and specialization. You've got your primary and your backup machines just running the audio. You have separate computers just for processing video for the big screens, and still others handling all the lighting cues. Each one is a critical specialist, and there's always a backup ready to take over in a heartbeat if anything goes wrong. All of that processing power is what drives the visual command center. This includes everything from small heads-up displays for the tech crew to the confidence monitors you see on the stage floor for the performers. You've got multiple camera rigs feeding into the iMag plan. That's just fancy talk for image magnification, the giant screens. And it all has to sync up perfectly with the lighting design. It's a complete visual symphony. All right, so we've seen the instruments, we've traced the audio path, we've met the digital brain, we have seen the entire army. Now, let's meet the general. Let's take a look at the personal toolkit that's used to command all of this beautiful, organized chaos. So after all this high-tech, multi-million-dollar equipment we've been talking about, what does the stage general actually have in their hands to make it all happen? From moment to moment. The answer? Well, it might surprise you. And here it is, the arsenal. It's this fantastic, amazing mix of high-tech and low-tech. You've got an iPad on a sling right next to a simple whistle, a laser pointer for directing lighting cues from across the arena, but also a basic cable tester because, things break. And I just love the practical details here, the Diamondback tool belts for being hands-on, the custom name tags for clear communication, and my personal favorite, the treat bag, lol. Because hey, you gotta keep your crew happy, right? So here's the bottom line. A live spectacle is this incredible fusion of artistry, technology, and human command. It's an orchestra where every single piece, from the choice of a microphone all the way down to a treat bag, plays an absolutely vital role. So now that you've seen the blueprint, the next time you're at a show, what are you going to look for? What hidden details are you going to see that you never, ever noticed before?